So hi Adam, hello, how are you?
Hi Sally, I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, and thank you so much for joining me today.
You're welcome.
We've known each other for about 16, 17 months now. I think it was probably just before Christmas last year that we met and you came along on one of our one days. And I can remember when you came in the room, I thought, this guy is a guy that knows a bit of stuff. You did not walk in as a novice. You walked in as I thought, I want to watch this guy. He's going to be the one heckling from the front. But tell me, I don't generally, that's what I thought when you walked in. And then you got that cheeky, chappy smile. I thought you're either going to be a nightmare or you're going to be brilliant fun. And you turned out to be brilliant fun, which is great.
Or both.
Where,
Yeah.
where were you from your perspective when you came along to see us on our one-day event, first of all? Because it's an event, and this is why it's so unique with you. It's an event for letting agents. But you came in and you were not a letting agent. So all of a sudden, it's strange. Why were you there?
No, that's absolutely right. I was, and still am, property investor primarily. I was sitting there on a reasonably nice portfolio of sort of 30, 40 units and was starting to experience a few management challenges and thought, right, well, I need to have a look around and see, what do I not know that the agents know? These guys manage hundreds of units day in, day out, seemingly reasonably effortlessly. Who's the person who can teach me how to become an agent if that's what I want to do?
And is that what you wanted to do? Do you think you wanted to be an agent?
No, I didn't really want to be an agent. I wanted to look at the options that I had around how it worked, how the systems worked inside a letting agency, the other opportunities that might arise if I had a letting agency, what skills would I need to look for in someone I might partner with who would be interested in either selling me a share in their agency or starting a new agency from scratch.
So you were really just, you needed to get control of your property management, your back end. You've got all these properties, you've got a property management issue, you need to get control of it. And you were just looking for answers, basically.
That's it, absolutely. And plus, on top of it, I could see that the sector was changing, more regulation was coming in. It seemed like that was the way that the industry was going to go. And therefore, the need to be properly trained was just going up and up and up, even as a landlord.
Mm. And what was in all the training that you did with us, what was the light bulb moment that made you join the dots and find out which way to go? And the reason I'm asking this is because, Adam, the reason we're talking now is because you, in 16 months, you have had the most phenomenal growth, which we're going to share in a minute. But what was the light bulb moment that made the thing that made you just fly? What was it? What was the thing that made you realize you could do this?
Oh, it was definitely around the stuff around valuing and acquiring letting agencies, either in total or buying the book or buying into the business, which particularly appealed to me. And the way of, I've done, quite a number of property deals beforehand, but it was applying some of those things and the ability, you can be so much more creative with buying a letting agency than you can with buying a property. That was the bit where I thought, right, I've been quite good at making deals. This is going to take me to another level of being able to make deals realistically.
Now, a lot of people, when they think about buying a letting agency, letting agents included, and generally in business, people think that you've got to have a big wad of cash. Do you think that maybe is what you thought when you walked in, or assumed without even thinking about it, perhaps?
I would definitely have assumed that, because ultimately I wouldn't have thought you can go around, buying businesses for a limited amount of money. You assume again, being biased by buying lots of property, you tend to have an asset, people want to buy it, there's a price established by the market, and, take it or leave it to some extent. And it was obviously just so much more flexible than that. That's when the light bulb went on and I started going out trying to do deals.
So go on then, drop the bombshell. You started from zero and you weren't a letting agent. How much have you generated in the last 12 months? That's
right. So I've been involved in 3 successful transactions, geographically in 2 different parts of the country, and effectively in one of them put down slightly less than 40k to buy half of a business that was valued at 220k. And not only that, but being in that business has brought me 2 very good property deals, which are going to add up to a few £100,000 worth of equity and significant cash flow from day one of doing them. One of them with no money down and one of them with another 40k down. and then bought into another agent and a share in another agency, which is more local to me in quite a tough marketplace, but a young agency that's doing very, very well with some really good people inside it, and managed to buy into that for the princely sum of 10K. Shortly after buying in, we then merged with another local agency, which we did no money down, and actually got the outgoing directors to underwrite 50% of the losses for the first 6 months, because when we took it over, it was a loss-making operation.
Wow, that is phenomenal. So by my calculation, it's probably cost you about 45, 50,000 roughly.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Investment, you've got 2 high-yielding properties, 3 businesses, or 2 merged into one, so 2 businesses, one including a merger, and turnover of?
So total number of, well, one of them's primarily sales. It's got about 60 lets in. The other one's got 300 lets in. Wow. But the turnover of the 2 businesses together would be about 650K.
Wow, phenomenal. Absolutely awesome. Adam, you are a superstar. Could you have imagined this when you walked into that room 18 months ago? I mean, it just seems phenomenal to have achieved so much in such a short space of time. It's just amazing.
No, not. I think whenever you do, I was I had a certain focus. I was quite narrow visioned. I was looking down a certain path. I thought I'd got quite proficient at buying property. I was quite pleased with that, but there was so much that I wasn't seeing outside of that, and that's where Agent Rainmaker helped me look outside of the norm and think a bit differently and just fly from there, really.
Do you think being a property investor has helped?
I think it's certainly one route that's helpful, but I think probably a lot of landlords don't necessarily get on very well with letting agents. They don't necessarily think the same way. So I'm sure sometimes gets in my way, because the one guy who's always been an agent, sometimes he has to shout at me telling me to stop thinking like a landlord. I have to shout at him telling him to think of the clients and think how the landlords think. And it's quite an interesting dynamic. But I think when you can make those 2 things work together, it's very powerful.
Yeah, I can imagine. I think you should sell tickets to your boardroom meetings. I think they'd be very interesting. Now, what have you done since? So you've acquired these 3 businesses, and I know you've made quite a few changes. So just give us an example of one of the things you've done in those businesses to start making a difference. How does it work, and what have you done?
Okay, so you can imagine there's been quite a bit of flux in those businesses. Few staff have left in one of them, a bit of uncertainty, and a little bit of rationalisation that had to take place because, as I say, one of them was making some losses. But since then, we've sat down, used some of the principles, taken some of the low-hanging fruit that there was. Particularly, we had lots of warm leads that we weren't following up, and we weren't putting that concerted effort into just spending an hour getting together, hitting the phones hard and going out and chasing some of those leads that have, A, we've monetized some of, but B, we're warming a lot of people up. And I'm sure we've made we put about 7K of fees on so far from doing that, from techniques we've applied, but I'm sure there's 10 times that to come, if not more, over the next 12 months.
So I know you're not working in the businesses. What's your role with them now? Because you never wanted to be a letting agent, but you sort of are, but you're not. So how much time do you spend? What's your active role in them now?
So in both of them, around about, I mean, I wish I worked 9 to 5, Sally, but I'm sure like you, that's just not an option really in what I do. So about half a day a week on each. In one of them, board meetings on a weekly basis, because we've been very active with the merger and things like that. And we were thrown, we did that merger when we weren't really ready for it as a business as yet, but it was too good an opportunity to turn down. In the other one, it's more of a well-oiled machine. It's been going for 10 years. It's just been tweaking the strategy and then going out and meeting other agents we're looking at doing partnership things with or acquiring in the medium term. Going out and looking at the deals that have come on the back of owning that agency, and also talking to investors, which is something that I do on a daily basis anyway. So it slots in with those sorts of things. So I've been able to talk to them about buying a few properties, get some investors that I'm friendly with to consider that area as an investment hotspot, which it absolutely is. One of the reasons why I bought in, and selling the area, selling the high level concept to people. And then the guys and the girls inside the agency can do the closing, if you like.
So it's actually opened up quite a lot of other opportunities for you as well on a property side too, by the sounds of it.
That's right.
More experience in the agency. Sorry.
Network expansion is definitely one of them. Bringing deals in. It started me thinking along the lines of, well, actually, if you've got a letting agency, if you can sell them when the landlord wants to exit, that's one thing. If you can sell them and then get another landlord to buy them, well, you can get paid for the sale and you can also get paid for the ongoing management. So if you then bring a new client in, you might have a client for 20, 30 years on the back of that. So
you got it,
all good stuff, all good customer lifetime value stuff.
Fantastic. And that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So if you could sum up what was it that Agent Rainmaker did for you? What was the thing?
It would definitely be I suppose, partially the knowledge, definitely, because there's a lot of really, really strong content in there, but also the confidence to go and do it, talking to people who've actually gone out and done acquisitions, not realizing, chunking down what feels like a massive and daunting task into a doable structure. That's one of the things that I'll definitely take away with me and I'll be using, throughout the rest of my business career.
And how do you feel about the collective community of Agent Rainmaker? I know you're working with a lot of the other people in the community and a lot of the Facebook groups and just the chat. I mean, has that been useful to you as well?
I think it's absolutely brilliant. A, people are really helpful and are quite happy to share. B, it's a unique thing. There are lots and lots and lots of communities on Facebook, but not of letting agents. The Agent Rainmaker thing has attracted some really, really high-level people. They're sitting in the room with people who've managed 1,500 units, people who've got 10 agencies, people who are also other property investors as well. You share ideas. You can't fail but to benefit from an atmosphere like that.
And what's the future now, Adam? Where are we going? I'm quite scared to ask you this, actually. I'm going to ask you.
It'd be nice to think we'd have a few calm months, really, but in honesty, we're sending out letters to talk to other agencies as bolt-on acquisitions, because I think in many ways coming from the cold start has been the hardest bit. If we can now bolt on 100 or 200 lets to either of those or both of those agencies, that would be a great next step. We know that some agents are going to have a tough time over the next 24 months. Mm-hmm. That to me just looks like a field of opportunity for the likes of me to go out and do bigger and better deals, really.
Wow. And you're going to be sharing your story at Agent Rainmaker Live for us as well.
Yep, very much looking forward to it.
It's going to be awesome. Adam, thank you so much. You've been amazing, as always. And I know we just absolutely cannot wait to see what on earth is going to happen next. But thank you so much. Speak to you soon.
You're very welcome, Sally. Thank you.
Thank you.